Hello everyone. Today I will make a short video to introduce the Arbin battery tester. In the laboratory, we have two Arbin battery testers. It's the BT2000 system. This one I'm showing here has 4 channels. You can see the black, red, those cables. We have 4 pairs, so each one of them is for 1 channel. This tester can test the battery cells up to 6 volts and 200 amps. The current is very big. On the other hand side, we have another tester. This one has only 1 channel here, but this one can test the battery voltage up to 20 volts with 300 amps. So here today I'm going to show only this one. So for this one, if you want to use this system for battery testing, then we need to use a software called It's Better. If we want to click this, it takes a little bit time. I already clicked this because the computer system is a little bit old. The Windows system, Windows 7 system, that's compatible with this Arbin BT2000. In order to do the battery test, we need to define something called the schedule file. The schedule file tells the system when to charge, discharge, at which kind of current or voltage. So we need to define schedule file. If you want to define schedule file, you need to right-click here. You can select this new schedule file, and you can also open an existing schedule file. For example, here, I'm not going to define new one, just to use old one I previously created. It's a very simple one. You double click this, then you have this test schedule here. If you not want to use this one, for instance, let's start with the new one. You right click, new schedule file, then you wait a little bit while it will pop up. Okay, pop up here. Then we can define a name here. Okay, so that's our schedule file. You double click this, you can find that it has only 1 step here, step A. If you want to add new steps, you can simply click this one. So this is called append a new step up here. If you want to see the details inside this step, you can either click here to show this or click this one to hide. You can also click this one. Oh, sorry, you can click this one to see all the details. Sorry, this is step to see all the details from here. So this one shows all the step details. You can check what does it mean here. For each step, for instance, for this one means we have rest. Okay, the first step is rest. Actually, you have many other charges. You can define current, voltage, C rate, or power. These are actions the system will do for the battery. Then this is a logic limit. We go to next step if the following condition holds. This one means, for instance, here, if you want to check what does this mean, this means the current step time, channel step time, is greater than or equal to a certain value. For example, we say it's greater than 5 seconds. And then it will go to the next step. The next step can be, for example, we charge the current by a value. You can put, for instance, 0.1 amps. If you put 0.1 amps, means charge the battery by 0.1 amps. If you use a negative value here, negative 0.1 means discharge the current, discharges the battery by 0.1 amps. So negative means discharge, positive means charge. And then we have condition. For example, how much time you need to charge. You can say that I need to charge this by, say, 5 seconds again. And this is something we call it a variable. The first variable, say value 1, operator 1, value 1, variable 1. This is the first logic condition. If you want to define other conditions, for example, I want to add 1 more steps. I want to insert upon another limit. For example, I add another condition. This one is not the step time, probably can be the voltage. For example, the voltage it's say it's less than equal to, for instance, 3.6. If the voltage is less than 3.6 volts, or the step time is greater than equal to 5 seconds, then I will go to next step. So these two conditions mean they are parallel conditions. These two parallel conditions, we hope if any one of the conditions hold, then we go to next step. If you want to say, I do not want this OR operation, I want an AND operation, means two conditions must hold simultaneously, then I go to next step. Then you can define something like here. This is variable 1, you can call this variable 2, for example, voltage it's say less than 3.6. If you write them in this way and I delete this step, I don't use this step, and I delete this step. Delete this step, then this means that both conditions must hold in order to go to the next step. Then if you want to add another step, you can click here to append a new step. Alternatively, you can go to edit. You can say you can append another limit. Alternatively, if you are in the step view like this one, you can simply go here, then you can add more steps, or you can copy paste the step limit. You can have this kind of choices. So if you want to have more steps, you can simply add that. We can add more steps. For instance, simply click this. Here we have step A, B, C, D. These are step level. We can also change this one, like I change this code. I call this step 1, call this step 2. You can rename this. The number of limits here, you can also say remove some of them. I click some of them so that I have only one step limit. And in the end, you can also choose that I hope to stop this. To stop this, I do not choose go to next step. I simply want to end everything, so I end test. So that's how we choose this one. You can here, you can step 1, 2, 3, 4. Here you can also set this one to be charging, because in the beginning we have reset, we have discharging, we have another reset, let it to reset for say 5 seconds. And then this one, we hope it to be charging, for instance, that's use 0.1 amps to charge for another 5 seconds. Charge for another second. Then we go to next step. Then we have another, we have a 5 seconds. Then we can also define a new step. We can add one more step, like just under the step, under the schedule. So this is a very simple example. Then you can also define the current range. For example, this kind of current 0.1 is actually low current range, not high current. Besides this, you can also define something else like this is a global properties, and usually they have some default value like 105% of current high range, voltage range. These are the safety limits of this channel. You can also define your own formula use this page. So today we only give a very quick review about this simple example. And I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use the previous one open to pre-built example. Yeah, it's this simple example. It's roughly the same like the previous one. So in the beginning, I rest for 5 seconds. Then I discharge by 0.1 amps and go to the next step after 5 seconds. Then I rest for 5 seconds. Then I start to charge this one by 0.1 amps. And eventually, I will end the test after another 5 seconds. So that's the schedule file we will use. And here, you can see that I have from channel 1, I have 2 cables. These cables are for current measurements. So this one, the big one, for current measurements. And besides that, we have also a small one. If you check this on the system, it's a little bit difficult to see. You can see some small wires, gray wires, this small one. These are for voltage measurements. So here you can see that I have the red one for the positive voltage. In the meanwhile, I connect this red clip. This one is for voltage. Let me move away the camera so that you can see I have one battery. The positive arm should be connected to the positive, the red cable here, and also this red clip for voltage measurement. So the big cable, the black one, big cable, is for current measurement, and this negative side is for current. So these should be connecting in series. The big cable connecting in series with your battery, and then for the gray cable, this small gray cable, this one has two terminals. These two terminals, the red one and the black one, we use it to measure the voltage because you measure the voltage. So this should be connected here so that they actually cross the battery. The figure is not that very clear, but roughly you can see that this one goes here. Okay, from the cable we go to the battery positive side, then battery negative side. From negative side, go back to the big cable. For this voltage measurement, we simply connect the positive to the red one, negative to the black one. So we have this connection here. Now I'm going to start the Arbin tester. There is a power switch in the middle part, the red switch. I hope you can see that. When I turn this on, it's going to be very noisy because of the fan. Yeah, you can immediately hear the noise. So the Arbin tester is turned on now. So we need to launch the system. Okay, that's the test station. I need to launch the system. If you want to launch this one for testing, you need to click this one. This one is for launch. Okay. So here we have this one. This one is the monitor control window. For the monitor control window, it's typically CG inside that's a fetch file. So that you can see this part by go to this line. It's actually inside the fetch file part. So this fetch file runs on here. Currently, we are opening this one. Open this one. Okay, the first one is our channel. Channel 1 we are currently using. Mostly, you can find that if you check the instruction manual, really under the detailed view, you should be able to see the schedule file. But now, for the moment, nothing shows up here. So sometimes, if you really want to see that, you need to, for instance, you need to check this channel, and then go to settings, and then you click this one, just default style. Okay, if you click the default style, then you will find that schedule name appears. Otherwise, you don't see this photo. Particularly sometimes, if you want to, if you have multiple channels, and each channel has different schedule files, then you need to choose all of them. You need to identify this column, schedule name column. You can see that here, the schedule file name is actually what I was using. I'm using. So now this channel is selected. Sometimes this one will not show up here. For example, if it's not show up here, then you can right click this one, assign, then you into your password or its monitor, and then you can choose your file name. Yeah, you need to select your file name. For instance, your file name, then you click OK. But now I'm already in channel 1, so I don't need to assign that to channel 2. So anyway, if you right click this, you can choose your schedule name. Just in case you need to choose your schedule name. Then, if you left click this, you can find this whole row from left. Then you can click this small button, start channel, running icon here. Then you need to enter the password again, Arbin BT2000 or its monitor. Okay, now it's done. Okay. You need to define a test name so that they can save your test results as a result file. For instance, let's use this. Okay. Define this file name. If you want to see the real-time testing results, you can click this on. This is on. And you can also hear the noise like click sound noise means switching from one step to another step. This one tells you exactly what the step count, what step means. This one is test, and this one is finish. You already finished the test. Yeah, in that time, okay, you click this line, you can see the result. Yeah, that's the result page. This is the test result. But sometimes, in most of the case, it's not one procedure. You want to actually see everything in an Excel document so that you can download data, do the processing. So if you don't just want to see this figure. So if you want to use that one, then this is the result file. We need to input this kind of result file to Excel spreadsheet, and usually you need to do this way. Although the instruction manual says differently, but actually, particularly for this computer, it does not work that way. So you need to go to C drive, then choose other software, then the first folder is called data store. You click this one, and you click this one, mix data store, double click this. It takes a little bit while to start. It is load on Windows 7. Actually, this BT2000 system only works well for one-time. If you want to upgrade to Windows 10, it takes a bit time because what is not supported. We can do that ourselves. So here we need to enable the macro. If you see some error information, you simply ignore that. Okay. Then you could AD. From AD, you can see architect. You click this, choose the first one, import mixed result. And you need to check whether this result file is the one you are using. This one is not my previous result file. My previous result file has 3 threads in the map. So I change the file. If you click this, you can find that you within this folder, models of the data within this folder. The first one is my result file. So I click this, open, and then I choose import first one. Here they have 2 Excel spreadsheets. You need to choose the other one. Now this one is our result. You can see that this is your testing time, starting time from 0 to 5. We rest 5 seconds. Then we discharge using 0.1. And the blue curve is current. The orange curve is voltage. So from here, you can see that blue curve, left-hand side is current, right-hand side of this activation for voltage. So after 5 seconds, the voltage is 3.6, a little bit higher than 3.6, roughly 3.6. Then with discharge you can find that voltage immediately drops to 3.57 around. And then because we are using 0.1 to discharge, then we actually capture this data and this data. So when the further figure, the simply link is so. But if you sample the time more time steps, for example, you take the data to the measurement every 1 second, or then you could have better figures of this. So we simply link these source points to information we have at the time of curve on the outcome from 0 and to 0.1, a little bit more than 0.1. Then we rest for 5 seconds, so we go to 0. Then we charge it by 0.1 again. Then we rest again. Then under the test. So this one actually reflects what we are doing in the schedule file. You can also see that the voltage just oscillates between this 0.6 to 0.5. There is a little bit of oscillation for the voltage from 3.6 to 3.575. Okay, that's the test results. Because we already run the test, and you can actually go here to click this admin stop channel. Now the idle state. Okay, it's the end of the presentation.